What's up, guys? COO onboarding. Officially, he's going to start next week on Monday. I just talked with someone that has a ton of experiences. He's actually a referral from one of my good friends for about, I've been friends with about 2 years, known him for about 2 years. And he has this really great referral. Really detail oriented. It sounds like a creative problem solver. Sounds like someone who really is customer centric, customer experience centric. Someone who we're wanting to see. Now I won't bore you guys too much with that shit. What you guys probably do want to hear is not how I feel, but maybe something you can relate with. Right now is a very fucking stressful time in my business. A lot of shifts are happening. Some things that are not in my but 80% of things you can't control. 20% of things, like there's some stuff I just can't control. So it's stressful. It's definitely stressful because I'm usually a huge control freak, and when I can't control something, not in a bad way, but when I can't control all the variables to impact my growth, then it's hard. Specifically, generally speaking, like it's not like I'm confined to decisions I can make in my life, or I'm limited in a sense, but I am. There's certain hoops I have to jump through. There's certain things that can't be done because of X and Y and Z, and it's like, man, I definitely can see why people say like from 100K a month to about 500K a month. That's when it's like the most challenging, because now you have like hard costs. Now you have like people who manage the books. Now you have fucking other costs like a studio cost, like office, and all this shit. And it's, well, 100K and below, you don't have much expenses. You maybe a handful of offshore or some onshore team members, but usually if you're under 100K, you're relatively lean. It's just once you start getting the 100K mark, probably closer to around the 250 to 350 range, when really start incurring a ton of costs, and when like margins just start completely just cutting in half. And I definitely know why, and it's definitely an interesting thing. I've learned a lot working this company, Astro Blaster, and I still continue to do it every single day. I learn new things every single day, which is valuable, man. Software is extremely difficult. I think if I was in like a service-based, agency thing, I'd be a lot more well off. I'd probably be in a 9/11 range, but it's almost like I'm being forced to delay gratification of what I feel like now. I feel like right now what I'm doing is I'm just like front loading like all this work, and then in a year or 2 years from now, I'm gonna walk out of a fucking family office of a private equity firm with a big check, or still hold a big share of the company as just a shareholder now, or however it is, So I'm just front loading all the work now, delaying the gratification intentionally and unintentionally to reap that award in the future, So I'd rather have a piece of a watermelon than half a grape. And that's what a lot of people get wrong, is they'll really be weird about percentages and stuff, and I get it. Everyone has to get paid a handsome amount if they're actually worth that handsome amount. It's really important to build a company that is able to, well, if you're trying to build big shit, then you have to build it big enough in order to fit other people's dreams within your dream. So Like if you think your dream is big, another person's dream has to fit within your dream, in order to really truly have committed people to your, like, I said this a lot in the beginning stages of my company, which I still feel like we're still maturing as a company, and still figuring things out. You know, we're a lot more guided now, and I'm glad and stuff. And you know, a lot of companies, a lot of SaaS companies especially, don't realize until like a handful of years in. So that makes me feel better. You know, that we're only like a year or so in, and we're already learning all these lessons, which is awesome. And especially, you know, I'm 18, so I'm grateful for this stuff and being able to be business partners with Jamil and all these things. But other than that, or besides that, in the, I I I said a lot to my team. Like I'm really for commitment and not compliance. Compliance is someone who comes in. It's actually a dinner I had with. This is where I learned commitment over compliance. It was I learned from his name, Steve Stagner, and he had this. He used to be a CEO, I think CEO of mattress firm. It's like one of the largest mattress retailers in the U.S. And I was actually on a spring break trip in Bahamas. Oh wait, sorry about that. So I actually met his son, or went on a trip with his son and a couple other friends to the Bahamas for like a senior spring break trip. That was really fun. I'm not gonna lie, that was really really fun. Bahamas are great. Not a great place to live, but great place to have vacation at. Uh, there was one night where I got the chance to have dinner with Steve and my friends there, but I asked him, you know, at some point we'd wanna talk, because I found out that he was like the ex CEO of mattress firm. And it's not like I wouldn't talk to someone that's not a big name like that. I love talking to people. Don't get me wrong. Like I love talking to people. I love talking to anyone. You don't have to be the fucking founder of Nvidia or whatever. But I knew that, you know, I had to talk to this guy, in order for me to go to the next level in business. And he gave me some really powerful business lessons, and it was over leadership, team culture. I actually had a second meeting, and this was after the Bahamas trip, and it was at this grill. But the first time, it was about commitment over compliance. And I really, now looking back, like, well, let's just go over the meeting. The first meeting we talked about, it was Sherlock's, or fuck man, I forget the name of the story he talked about, but it was essentially these like 12 men, led by a, man, I have to get the. I'm a ChatGPT. Hey ChatGPT, what is that one story called where it's that the 12 men cross like the some sort of Arctic Sea, and by the sheer of like the leadership of the leader, like they end up like making it through. And what was that story called?
So that sounds like the story of Sir Mr. Shackleton and
Shackleton
expedition.
Yes, so Shackleton and the expedition or whatever. And essentially, what happened was, when he was looking for people to cross this, there was no monetary value. Like there was no monetary reward. There was nothing like that where they would receive a ton of money. Like they weren't motivated by money. What these men were motivated for was really with by and just being able to have that token of damn, I this sea. And I'm not the greatest storyteller ever. Essentially, there was 12 men on that ship, and Shackleton led it. And Shackleton made this job posting in a newspaper, and it said "men wanted," and on the bottom in fine print it said successful. It's something like successful mission doubtful or return doubtful. And there was no cash reward, nothing for crossing this sea on a fucking wooden boat. And what happened was he got 12 people to enroll. Okay, enroll is a really, really, really important thing. It was enroll was the first thing. It was enrolling these people into his company, not really company, but kind of group to sail across. I'm really all over the place with the story, but essentially got 12 people to get on this fucking wooden boat to cross the sea without any sort of monetary cash reward. He did it all by the commitment of these 12 men. And if you can guess, the temperatures were absolutely insane. It was like negative. It was like some negative degrees Celsius, and it was like something fucking absurd. And they all made it out alive. And what happened was they actually halfway through, they actually crashed. They ended up having to ditch their main boat and return back to fucking the mainland, or wherever they're trying to go to, the destination, on fucking rafts. It was like 3 or 4 wooden rafts, and they all made it back alive. And the point of the story was that it was by the sheer will of their dedication to just make it through, because each of them were like, if I make it through, I don't care about the money, because again, I didn't sign up for the money. I signed up to have honor. And this was actually one of Imam God's core values. That's fucking jackass call me. One of his core values is death before dishonor, and I think that's such a powerful core value, because like these men, they were not in it for the money. They wanted to be honored not only by themselves, which probably most importantly by themselves, but also not be that person that isn't always striving for greatness. It's like he got 12 men together with a collective mission to be able to have essentially bragging rights. And just again, by the sheer of these 12 men, they were able to make it across. And I definitely did not tell that story as good as how Steve said it, but something really resonated with me with that story. It was like commitment. One's commitment can do so. It can bend results, literally bend, just by the sheer amount of commitment one to something. It doesn't have to be monetary. Again, like this was literally just having the bragging rights to say, hey, I crossed the fucking, this sea, sub-zero temperatures on a fucking raft, on a wooden raft. I mean, it was crazy. It's if you had people that were just in it for the money, that just wanted the check, that just wanted the monetary reward at the end of it, then they would have given up just looking at the fucking boat. Like they were just like, dude, this is not what I signed up for. But since he enrolled people, he told me this. He looked me dead in the eyes and he was like, in order to build a company, a really large company, he didn't say it like this, but it was like, in order to do big shit, I'm just going to paraphrase. In order to do big shit, you had to build people, and for people to build the business is you have to enroll people. One, enroll, enlist, engage. So enlist or enroll is you're getting people that are actually committed to your vision, committed to the mission. And then enlist, I forget what enlist essentially means, but is making sure that I guess they are coming on I think is what enlist would mean. And then enroll or enroll would be getting them, or last one is engage. Engage is getting them to truly, again, engage with your company. So not just, how this relates to the real world is just like, again, not coming to the office and just showing up and hitting KPIs. It's like, how do I become a better person today? How do I bring more value, to the company? But that's in a selfless sense, which most people are pretty selfish. The thing is, like, how would I be able improve myself, thereby improving the company as a whole? Those are the people you want in your companies. The people who truly care about the growth of themselves, and care for, not in themselves, but care for your mission. And it's not your mission, it's technically the company's mission, which I say company and it sounds super corporate. But like y'all's, I'm like talking and trying to park, and there's like 20 different people. But essentially, how can you collectively have the same mission? I don't like saying company mission because it sounds too corporate. How do you have the same mission as essentially your team? Gosh, so fast. That wasn't the greatest explanation of the story, and that wasn't the greatest lesson at the end of it, as well as he did it. But he taught a really important thing, was essentially like, you want committed people in your company. You don't want people who are just driven by money. I mean, being driven by money is fine, but being solely driven by money is not. Yo.
Hey, Andy, this is Carson.
Yo, what's up, dude?